asking any questions. And then when something occurs, the finger is pointed and it is said, the accountant did XYZ.
It was him.
But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, and ultimately, this is your business.
Right.
This is your baby.
Yes.
This is your legacy, not the accountant's. And I understand that there is a trust factor.
Yep.
I
Yep.
get that. I get that. And that's wonderful and that's great. But we all know people who we have trusted. And then and then about a couple of years later, we like
Trust
gasp
issue.
and pearls clutched. You are an awful person. Afternoon, everyone,
Yeah.
morning. I don't know where you are, what time it is. Well, welcome to another recording of Financial Fraud Friday. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Nike Togba. I'm the owner of Togba and Associates in Atlanta, Georgia. We focus on professionals and business owners. We offer tax advisory, accounting, and tax services here in the area. If you are interested in the area and around the 50 states, of course. If you are interested in working with me and us, feel free to schedule a consultation by visiting togbaandassociates.com. I look forward to assisting you, hearing about your issues and seeing how we can be of service.
Hey,
Okay.
hi everyone. My name is Karina O'Connor. I'm the owner and founder of KAKE with a K Financial, where we help solopreneurs resolve their IRS problems so they can run their companies with confidence. We are a South Florida virtual firm, but we can help nationwide. So tax problems could include a tax bill that you cannot pay in full, or if you have not filed your taxes for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years. So if that sounds like you, please let us know. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead with the disclaimer.
Okay.
Let me start off. Ooh, I thought I had it up. But
Y'all,
disclaimer.
Karina is bomb when it comes to IRS resolution. Okay, that girl know the tips, the tricks, the flips, the
Oh, that is hilarious. Thank you. Thank you.
listen. Okay, shoot.
Well, that's fine. Whatever. I'm going to do it. Oh, yeah, I do have it. Because I was like, where is the disclaimer? I get all the words.
Oh,
So, disclaimer. This episode is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not legal, tax, or financial advice. All information discussed comes from public court filings, news reports, and press releases. Everyone discussed is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. While we are tax professionals, we are not yours, but we can be. Book a link in the bio if you are interested. And Nikkei, what is the topic for today?
well, you know what? The topic today is very abstract. I'm gonna say it's abstract, right? Very, very general. Karina and I have well, I'll start by saying this. There have been many stories in the news. A lot of, I'll say, front-facing, very popular business owners
Mhm.
who are sitting in a position where they are experiencing financial issues and troubles, and I recognize that there was a common thread, common statement being said. And I just wanted to analyze that with Karina. And so you guys get to have that conversation with us because I think we touched on it briefly, but didn't go into in depth in any true way. And the common statement that I've been hearing is the accountant did it. It was the accountant's fault. The accountant didn't, she, or whatever. We're here because of the accountant.
Mhm.
Now, I am not saying that that cannot be true. I would just like to know how that's
Mm.
true, right? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I would like to delve into that and analyze that statement a little more. And also stand up a little bit for the accountants of the world because I think that, and let me not say I think, my belief is, and I've seen it before, that there's a scapegoat situation happening.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? There's a shifting of responsibility, and that's just my opinion. It could very well be that the accountant, it could very well be, I say, that you gave the accountant 100% access to all your stuff, all your information. You gave the accountant 100% decision-making powers, and it was the accountant's fault. Now, the likelihood, or if you did, I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not. I'm only saying that there are a lot of instances where the accountant, the finger is pointed at the accountant, and it may not necessarily be the accountant. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
What you think?
This question is
I mean, there are tentacles here. I get it.
there are a lot of it. Um I do agree with sometimes it can be the accountant and sometimes it's not. So I would like to delve into what is an accountant because I think too many people throw out these terms and we don't know what it is, which is another reason why when people hear the word or the initial CPA, they automatically think a CPA is going to do your taxes and not necessarily. A lot of CPAs do taxes while a lot of them do not. So first explaining what an accountant is, what is their function, and what is their function, especially as it pertains to your business.
Mhm,
So because we're talking to small businesses here, right? So
mhm.
I Googled. So I hate like the AI analysis now in Google, but whatever.
It's like, yeah, that's the first place to go,
It's the
right?
first thing. It
It
is so
pops.
it is so annoying and frustrating sometimes because sometimes it's wrong depending on where it's coming from.
Oh, no,
Um,
no, that's a good
but
point.
this one's coming from the state of New York and accountants like the Bureau of Labor Statistics of
Okay.
what it is. So I'm like, okay, all right. So an accountant is a professional who records, analyzes, manages, and reports financial information for individuals, businesses, and government agencies. They ensure financial records. They could prepare tax returns, conduct audits, and provide strategic advice to improve profitability and compliance. So, an accountant is a professional who records, analyzes, manages, and reports financial information for individuals and businesses, basically, right? So, with that being said, accountants typically do accounting. Accounting records what has happened financially. That is it. Now, there are some other functions sometimes that accountants can do, but for the most part, they are recording what has already happened as far where the money has already gone, what has already like the bills that have already been paid for the most part. They may analyze and let you know, hey, I see some trends that are going on or whatever else. And even that that's going into more finance realm of
Okay.
seeing trends and reporting trends and all of that. But even so, an accountant typically talks about the past.
Mm.
There may be times where they talk about the future, and I would argue, like I'm saying, that they're stepping into another function that's out just a smidge outside of accounting now, and you're going into finance territory when we're talking about trends and things. What are you saying, Nikkei? I see your eyes turning and
You see me thinking the
the
little brain
wheels
thinking,
are
thinking.
going. What are your thoughts on that?
So then I'm thinking, well,
Mhm.
I mean, because then they would say, because usually we're saying accountant, I'm saying accountant, and I'm using
Right.
it very generally, but 9 times out of 10, when they say account, or when a small business owner or a business of the caliber that I'm speaking of, the ones
Mhm.
that have been in the forefront right now and in the news, and there are all of this stuff, there's all this stuff
Yes.
going on.
Mhm.
I believe that when I say the word accountant, I'm speaking more along the lines of a CFO, which would then lead into things like forecasting and
Right. That's
assisting with
finance.
loan applications and things like that.
Yeah,
So
that's finance.
so I will bring it up a notch and say,
Mhm.
not necessarily your general basic accountant that's recording history. I'm going to say your CFO that's very intertwined in your business processes, your day to day, maybe monthly or quarterly meetings on, hey, these are the trends that we're seeing.
Mhm.
You are paying too much here. You need to spend less there. And why are you spending so much over here? And
Yes.
this has gone up significantly. Why? You know what I mean? Those types of questions are being asked.
Understood. And then I don't disagree with you. I agree with you 100%. And this is why I want to explain what an accountant is first,
Okay, gotcha.
the bare bones,
Okay.
because there are some accountants that have that position. Like, I can do your accounting, but I can also do your financing, but I can also do your taxes, but I can also do whatever. But the core function, they're different things. But people just say it broadly and automatically think because somebody is my accountant, they should be doing this as well. And what
Mm,
I'm saying is,
okay.
no, that's not necessarily how it goes. I want people to understand, and I'm saying this really, really loosely. Like, I'm saying accounting
Mhm.
and an accountant at its rawest function is recording past data.
Got it.
That's it. And
That's
then when you go into, not to say that an accountant, like, the same way somebody's also a mom, they have the title of mom, but they
mhm.
also have a title of sister. They also have a title of CEO. They also have, like,
Understood.
that's what I'm saying. So the professional that you have could also be doing your accounting, could also be doing your taxes, could also be doing this. Because I have a lot of questions where people will ask me, oh, well, my accountant, he or she doesn't, they all they do is prepare my taxes. Or my accountant, all they do is this.
Okay.
They don't do tax planning with me
Okay.
because that's a different function.
That is a different function.
And maybe your accountant is just a tax accountant and all they do is tax prep.
Yeah.
And that goes into a whole, like, and then you were saying you're going into CFO services now. So your accountant or your whomever is now taking on the hat
Okay.
of CFO and now it's helping you through with the small business. And I'm just, so when you go, and I'm saying this because when you're in corp life, you're going to see that the accounting department is separate from the finance department, is separate from the treasury department. They're not all doing the same function.
Yeah.
But when we're small and we have a small business, like, stop me from, when
No,
we're
no,
small,
no, you're fine.
small business, we'll see that sometimes we're taking on, especially if we have multiple clients, we're taking on multiple fractional hats. So people get spoiled into thinking that all accountants do
That
everything
do all of the things that, yeah, that we do.
and
Exactly.
they're not wanting to pay for it because these are different services. Because if I was supposed to take those skills into a corporate hat, I would be in do you see what I'm saying?
Exactly. I'd be in multiple. You're telling me that I'm working multiple departments.
I'm working multiple different departments and multiple different job functions.
Exactly.
I
No,
know.
I mean, no, and you're right.
And I
And
want to, like,
I just,
same way, like, you're a CEO, but maybe you're also in marketing right now because you don't have a marketer and you're also doing whatever. But once you get the money enough to have somebody be an assistant, they're going to be an assistant. If you want to expand their role and give them another job description to do whatever, you can. So they'll be an assistant slash, I don't know, something else,
I got
assistant
you.
slash marketer.
Yeah. I guess what kind of caught my attention, what caught my attention and what made me, do my eyebrow raise, because that one eyebrow will go up like, really?
Yeah.
Is that is that I don't want to say that I'm to believe because it is possible.
Mhm.
The finger is being pointed
Mhm.
at the accountant. Now, there are some accountants who, because we've seen the stories, we talk about
Mhm.
fraud every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
They fake up fake
Right.
invoices. That's
Mhm.
always that. If that ain't the top go-to, they create a fake company. They start making some fake invoices. They shoot them things through the payables, accounts payables. Payables pays the bill, and the money ends up in the accountant's account or whatever.
Mhm.
Okay. That happens a lot of times with smaller businesses, excuse me. So I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, right? Or that the accountant is not capable of doing that when they have certain when the segregation of duties is not there's not the ability to have any mass segregation of duties because it's a small company, and so
Right.
there you're wearing many hats and doing
Mhm.
many things, right? So there's less ability to monitor and say, hold on, or to have those checks and balances and have someone say, before that gets paid, every invoice needs to be reviewed or the company needs to be, you know what I mean? Because the expectation is that the accountant or whoever's in that position is doing it. I am simply saying that how do you hand and I don't know, is it even fair? Because my question I was going to ask was, how do you hand over the responsibility to someone wholly and solely? They have the ability to access accounts, review invoices,
Mhm.
pay invoices, right? All of that. And nobody's asking any
No,
question?
there's no checks and balances.
None.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking a question. Like, I know that we're busy. And this is what I'm leading to. This segues me into what the true point of this is. Nobody's asking any question. And then when something occurs, the finger is pointed and it is said, the accountant did XYZ.
It was him.
But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, and ultimately, this is your business.
Right.
This is your baby.
Yes.
This is your legacy, not the accountant's. And I understand that there is a trust factor.
Yep.
I
Yep.
get that. I get that. And that's wonderful and that's great. But we all know people who we have trusted. And then and then about a couple of years later, we like
Trust you
gasp
too.
and pearls clutched. You are an awful person.
Yeah.
Right? You find that out because they've worn this mask or whatever, whatnot. And the whole point was to make you feel comfortable so they could slide in wherever they were going to slide in and do whatever it was they were going to do to you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
At the end of the day, the baby is still yours. The boundaries that need to be created are still your responsibility. So you can point your finger at the accountant all day
Mhm.
long, but at the end of the day, ultimately, the responsibility is yours. Am I
Mm.
wrong? I mean, because
No.
I'm kind of like, I am, and my clients will be like, who she thinks who are you talking to? I'm talking to you because I like you. I love
Yeah.
you. I don't let you in this door. And we decided we were going to work together.
Yep.
I like you. And that's why I'm talking to you like this because the truth is bitter. And I got to
Right.
serve it to you just like this so that you understand that we are working together,
Yes.
which means I need you to be engaged, which means I need you to when I call you and I say, "Hey, we need to talk because I
Mhm.
just saw something," or "Hey, this is time sensitive. I need you to get back to me by X date." And you don't? Well, how engaged would how why would I care? Why should I care more than you do?
Right.
Because you're paying me?
Hmm. Yeah.
Because some accountants don't work like that. If I care more than you do, you need to go find somebody who just wants to take and I'm not being that's not me patting myself on the back. That's me saying that there's something, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
not my thing. It's
I
not my
agree.
thing. My thing is let's get this thing done so that when we walk out in the streets, we can walk out in these streets like this because we
Shoulders
know
up.
what we got going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I want. Am I
Mm.
tripping? Hmm.
No, I don't disagree with it. I agree. When you are a CEO, when you are a founder and owner of your business, everything is your fault.
Okay. Preach,
Everything.
preacher.
Every single thing is your fault. Even So, like, we're talking about business owners, even personally, everything is still your fault.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a word. It's
Everything
a
is still your
word.
fault to a certain degree,
Everything is
right?
your fault.
To a certain degree. So back to business owners now. As the CEO, every single thing is your fault. If an employee, like, we're talking about small businesses, so maybe you only have one or two employees, if that, or a contractor that's there, if that, or maybe it's just you. And you hired somebody real quick to do a project, which is still a contractor, and you still be 1099 them. That's another conversation for another day. Anyways, um,
Yeah, told y'all.
that's another conversation. But if that person does anything under your business name to any of your clients, they are suing you. They're
Mm.
not suing contractor X, Y, and Z. They're not suing employee 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are suing you and your business.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
everything is your fault,
yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Right. And it goes a little bit more onus on us as tax professionals, right? Like we just said, that everybody blames us, right? And we're dealing with multiple businesses. So add that CEO stress times 10 for accountant professional tax professionals that are looking at multiple clients and their businesses. It's your fault. So because you know it's your fault, or it will be your fault, you need to mitigate your fault as much as possible, right? We have things like insurance. We have things like having proper standard operating procedures, SOPs in place, having proper descriptions, and all of that. I think one of the things we need to get clear on is what is your function, and what is, whomever you're hiring, what is their function? What do you expect them to do? And how do you expect them to do it? Another thing is, you never, because it's, once again, because it's your fault, you never, we've always say this on this channel, like, never put your foot off the gas, ever. You
Mm.
have to be involved. When I was in corp life, once the dollar amount for any payment for any invoice went over $250,000, it went all the way to the CEO. So there's 50,000 people, I'm not exaggerating, of being like having to go through all these approvals from each department. Then it goes to the CFO first, and then the CEO signs. Why is that? Why do the corporations do that?
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure that the CEO and the CFO know exactly what the hell is going
Yeah.
on a corporate level. And I said anything over $250,000. That was at my place of business when I
Right,
was
because there's a scope. There's always a scope. There's always a
right,
what is material. And
right.
apparently wherever you were, that
Yeah, that
250K was
it
material
became
with that.
material, because I think actually it used to be higher, maybe 500,000, and they dropped it. They
Okay.
dropped it for a reason, to make sure that there was more eyeballs into what, because Treasury's going to have to, CFO is over Treasury. Treasury's going to have to know how much money they need to let go and when.
Mm, mm,
So now I'm bringing it back into small business now. There should be approvals and processes in place to make sure that you mitigate you and your personal, because remember I said it's always your fault, liability as much as possible.
mm.
So if I'm going to pay some bills, I need to say, hey, tax professional, hey, accountant, hey, CFO, whomever I'm doing to help me with my bills. Okay, I need to have a plan. Maybe every single thing needs to have my approval first before I can make the payment.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you need to know what's going on in your business, and you need to know. And like, you know what? I watch a lot of crime shows. a lot,
Me too.
a lot of them. And where we act like these things are, and it's not just in corporations, it's not just in small businesses, it's in crime businesses too. So if you notice, sometimes there'll be the guy. So there's the Don, right? I don't know.
Okay.
I
Oh,
don't
we
know.
got a Dawn.
There's the
We-
Don, the main guy, right?
Right,
That
right.
people are afraid of, and whatever else, and all the things, right?
Yeah.
He's doing something illegal, cutting up some type of crack and drugs and something, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
And there's always like a smaller guy on his team, his runner or whomever on his team, and they are trying to skim him.
Mm.
And they'll probably try to
Mm.
take out
Interesting.
$20 or take out a little kilo or
Little
something. I don't
something
know,
here and
the
a little
grams
something there.
here and there. Like they
Yeah.
always try to skim. So what does the Don do? What does the person in charge do? They start weighing things. Why do they weigh things? To make sure that's standard operating procedures. Like,
Standard operating procedure.
I standard operate. They make sure that this kilo, whatever, amounts to this amount of grams.
Mhm.
And if it drops down by anything, he knows that somebody in his camp is stealing some the product.
Yeah.
Or this amount of money, they weigh the money. This amount of $100,000, it weighs these amount of pounds. And if it's a little less than that, they're taking out $100 each time.
I
So
gotcha.
that he knows how much money he's getting in. We have to be at the same due diligence for our business at all times. I don't care who it is. You try to mitigate as much as possible because people are going to people regardless,
That's your
regardless of
favorite
who they
line,
are,
ain't it?
regardless
People are
if
gonna.
they're a tax professional, if they're a CEO, CFO, if they're a business owner or not. So, what are you doing to mitigate your risk? So, you cannot just say, oh, it was the accountant's fault. What was your part in it to play? That doesn't negate if your account is raggedy. One accountant, stop being raggedy. We already got like,
Already
we
hard
already
out
got
here
enough.
for it's
We've
hard out
already got
here.
enough.
What y'all
It's
doing? Like,
already a
stop.
lot dealing with the different personalities and people's money and all
Yes.
of that.
And people,
It's
yes.
already enough. Stop being raggedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
People and rightfully so. People act people have been burned. There are too many
Right.
stories of people being burned. There are too many stories of people ex having these just horrific experiences because nobody is in the news like, oh my God, I work with so and so accountants and they were. No, that's not the story. That's not what's going to be in the news. What's going
Right.
to be in the news is this person is raggedy, they this
Yeah.
and they
They
stole and
stole
they
$1
that.
million.
That's exactly. So that's what you hear. So people hear that they get burned. And you
Mm-hmm.
would well and but does that make them hyper vigilant? Because the stories continue. You get me? So
It's a great question.
yeah.
Maybe, but I want to also, maybe it does. I would say, like, just like how we say, like, the good is never going to be reported. One, because it's boring, right? Like, it's not salacious enough. So even if somebody is saying, hey, shouting from the rooftops that this person is really good, it's still not going to be picked up on local news, like on
Right.
local or national news. So, and another thing too is that whatever's bad is always highlighted. So that doesn't mean there's probably a lot more good that's happening than bad. It's just that the bad is always in the limelight. So that is what we see. So
Yeah.
I won't say that it's not something that, is deterring people. I think it does. Like, some people will be like, hey, I've been burned enough. And I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to make sure now I have policies in place so this never happens to me again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's what we're trying to get at here. Like, don't just always blame your accountant. What was your hand in this? What
You
was your
have
hand in
some
this?
responsibility.
Make sure that you don't try to have a story like this. Like a story where your accountant stole all your money. I always say, I think in one of these other videos, I always say everything I do can be checked.
Mm,
Everything I do, every single thing I will argue that I do with my clients can be checked and double checked. And I mean that, uh, not, I don't know, humbly or whatever, but I mean that with, like, with my heart, in the sense of, like, if I file a tax return, because I've had that sometimes, some clients, their tax professional said that they filed a tax return, but did they actually? They might have even given them a copy of the tax return,
mm-hmm.
and it still wasn't filed to the IRS. You can always check. You can always check with the IRS, and I implore you to check, because, like I said, as a CEO, as a business owner, it's always you. You're going to be the one left holding the bag. You can go on the irs.gov account and you can
Mm,
check. You can call the IRS. Hey, I just wanted to make sure.
yeah.
I just want to go ahead and check my checks, my transcripts.
But and you say that, and it's like, you're saying ultimately everything is your fault, and I agree with that statement. I 100% agree with that statement. Even in personal life, it, that thing happened to you. Now, some folks would argue that that's wrong. That can't be written. No, okay. That's my that. You know what? That's the way I choose to process things. That's
Yeah.
my fault. That thing
Mhm.
happened to me. It's on me.
Right.
I allowed that to happen. I
Right.
saw you coming, and I still
And I
let you through the
still.
gates. I
Mm-hmm.
knew better, but I let you through. So whatever you did to me, that's on me because I saw you,
Right.
but I didn't
Right.
do what was necessary to make sure that you didn't get close enough to me to do what my intuition knew you were. You know what I mean? I saw.
Right.
So I
Exactly.
get it. That's a motto. That's something that I choose. That's how I choose to move. But the other thing that I want to point out, with that, it's your fault is I would just, and maybe, this would be my tip,
Mm-hmm.
for people. If you are paying an accountant, if you're working with someone, you've hired someone, they're one of the, when you're starting a business, they're always like, you need to get a lawyer and an accountant. Lawyer and an accountant. These
Mm-hmm.
are your best friends. They need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you about to make a decision, lawyer, accountant, right? But from the side of the accountant, if there's one thing that we always say is junk in, junk out.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So if you're giving me junk, I can only respond. I can't respond as well as I could if the data was good data, right? So junk in, junk out. Um, it is important, and I'll leave it at this and just go ahead and leave it. If you have an accountant, you're paying an accountant, you have to stay in contact with that accountant.
Mm-hmm.
If that accountant says to you, we need to talk, I need you to schedule a meeting with me. I need you to get this letter to me. I just filed your tax return. I'm waiting on something. I got some back and forth going on. It's time sensitive. Now, some of us, we get the letter. You get the letter, I got the letter too. You know what I mean? But in some cases and instances, you got something that I didn't receive. I don't know. I know nothing about it. You got it. And you're holding on to it. And it's my job to make sure that you don't end up in crazy situations. But I can't do that if you're not working in tandem with me, if we're not working together, to resolve things or to analyze information and data. I know that you're busy. I know that you're a business owner. I know that you're managing and running your business, but this is an important function and aspect of running and managing that business so that, um, you can't just take like you said, you can't take your hands off the wheel. You just can't.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, we got to be on the gas. Like, like as George W. said, fool me once.
I am a
You
leave that
fool
alone.
me,
Well,
can't get fooled again or something. I'm like, man,
sometimes on
fool
the,
me, can't get fooled again. Um, but we're also trying to
I know
like,
what you mean, sir.
yeah,
I
like,
got
I
you.
like
I get where
love
you're trying to go with that.
that like quote. Anyways, because it's on one of those songs too that I love.
I think is
A
it?
Wale need to know.
Oh, is it? Yes.
Anyways, oh, I think it's
Yeah.
no, maybe it's yeah, I think it is. Anyways,
Yeah. No, you're right.
like,
You're right. You're right.
the point of the matter is that like we're trying to make sure that you don't have a situation where it's a full situation. Like always have a standard operating procedure. You should have one for your business, period. But especially when you're inviting other people into your space. I think another thing too is just because your accountant is your accountant, does that mean that they they will and can do everything for your
Mm,
business as it pertains to finances? I think that's one of the things I was really trying to stress. This is why I explained what an accountant was
mm,
and what their functions are.
mm,
Understand, what do you want in your business? What are you looking for in your business? And then pay for that service. Like I said, with your accountant, they may be able to hold multiple hats, but those multiple hats are multiple monies too.
it that cost,
It's a
yes, it
separate,
does.
it's a separate money. Like if they're doing your bookkeeping and accounting on a, okay, sorry, bookkeeping and accounting on a monthly basis, you cannot also expect them to be doing, oh, huge forecasting and CFO services where they're paying all your bills and what, if you're not paying for that.
Yeah.
If they're doing your book, if you're doing your taxes and they prepare your tax returns, you cannot automatically think that, oh, they're also going to help me with my tax planning and making sure that I'm saving on taxes throughout the year and all of that, if you did not have an engagement for that and you didn't pay for that service. Yes, they may be able to do that other hat, but you also need to pay for it. And
Yeah.
you can't get mad at them if you've only paid, oh, $375, $1,000 for your business tax returns, and you're wondering why your accountant isn't talking to you throughout the year regarding tax planning and estimated taxes and making sure that whatever, because you didn't pay for that service. It's
Oh,
different.
yeah, that's true.
It's different.
And I would argue if you are granting them access and they're not asking you for more money, because if you start telling me you want me to pay your bills, hold on, that's another
That's
responsibility.
a
That's
different
some and
responsibility.
and the that level of responsibility requires more, right?
Right.
So if you're granting that access and the individual is not saying, asking and saying, okay, this is different, this is out of scope of what we
Right.
already do, we're going to need another engagement, whatever, and you grant them that access, I would argue my eyebrow will be raised because who you want me, who is taking on that responsibility? Something ain't right.
Right.
Something's not right. Your eye need your eye, that eyebrow, if you can't needs to go up because why are they okay with that additional responsibility or that additional access and they're not asking to be paid for that work?
Some of them just don't know their worth yet. So like
Oh,
I would,
well, that
there's
now see, oh, you about to take it. You taking it. Okay, I see it.
where
Yeah, no, you're
a
right.
lot of them, you know what I'm saying? And this is coming from somebody who has had scope creep over the years, where
Yeah,
now I can recognize it
yeah,
and be like, oh, well, look, person, look, business owner, I'm not going to be able to do that for free. I would love to help you, but this is going to be an additional charge. Would you like us to discuss what those options are?
yeah.
And I have them in tiers. Which tier would you like? You
Oh,
know what I'm saying? So this is, sometimes it's scope creep. Oh, but can you do this? And people will call, oh, can you do that? And whatever. I have a quick question.
oh, the
If
quick
you're
question.
not on a
I'm like,
monthly
hold on,
service,
okay.
those quick questions
It's not a quick
are
question.
consultations. You're
It's a
asking
whole,
me, you're asking our professional opinion
yeah,
on something that you said that you're going to do or that you want to do or whatever. You're
yeah,
asking our advice on something. That advice does cost, unless you're on like some type of monthly plan that it includes, and you can have unlimited. There's always things that you can work out, but I'm just saying that don't expect whatever level, if you're on tier 1, don't expect tier 3 level of service
I got you.
if that's not what you're paying for. And if you want something like that, go ahead and book a link in our
Click the
bios.
link in the bio.
Book a link in our bios and have a discussion of like, hey, I would like this and this for my business. This is what it looks like. And make sure you have a standard operating procedure. Like for me, I do have like a CFO client now, right? Where I'm helping them pay the bills and all of that. But I'm not in the business day to day. I don't know if these people have worked. They're sending me bill. I don't know you. I've had people call me. Hey, I sent the invoice. I don't care. Respectfully, hey, I just let them know there's an approval process before I have invoices to be paid. Until the CEO or whomever, the manager, sends me approved via email, you're not getting paid. I don't care if you need to be paid by 5 p.m. today. Okay, cool. You go ahead and let her know, or I'll have a conversation, let her know, or him know, and then we can go ahead and like there has to be, because you go by, people are rushing and trying to put you through this fire, and the next thing you
Uh,
know, Karina said, oh, Karina paid a bill that she wasn't supposed to pay, and now once again it's
the accountant's
fault.
fault. You
But
did it.
to mitigate as much fault as necessary, I'm like, okay, I have these procedures. Hey, I do not pay until it is approved.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So in our closeout, what is your one tip for the lovely people? What's your one tip that you would give to them when dealing with an accountant?
okay. The my one tip is, what does this accountant do? What can this accountant do? And what do you want them to do for you in your business? After you've discussed that and you've leveled that, understand their role and responsibility in your business. And then have a standard operating procedure on how you and that person move in your business. That's it. Especially like you have to treat your business like a corporation, because it will be, right? We're trying to, you know what I'm saying? You have to treat it like a corporation. This person has different hats on and different roles and responsibilities that pertain to you and how your business operates. You need to make sure that it's seamless, because, like I said, if mistakes are made, it is your fault because you own the business.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
What about you, Nikkei?
My one tip is to, and maybe they go hand in hand, and to lead off of it's your fault. Stay engaged.
Mhm.
You need to stay engaged with that accountant. And that's my tip. You have to stay engaged. If that accountant tells you, hey, I think we need to move left, you need to be moving left. Or at least questioning
Question. Yeah.
why
Yeah.
the you need to know why this person is saying let's move left.
Right.
This person is telling you, hey, I need a response from you by, or I need you to do this or whatever. Um, I would say be engaged. And that does take a level of there has to be trust there that you trust the advice of this individual. But again, and I think the two things go hand in hand. So know where you are, know where that accountant is, and you guys got to work hand in hand so that you make sure that your business is functioning, um, and doing what you want to do to get where you're trying to go. So yeah. So. So yeah, so we're gonna leave it at that, you guys. That I just kind of wanted to have that, conversation, Karina, because I was like, hold on, hold a minute. Why it's always we didn't do that. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, wait, hold on, wait, what? We didn't, it was just like it was kind of being like, is it really always the fault of the accountant? And so I just kind of wanted to address that. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. We are here every other Friday. If you would like to work with us, I encourage you to visit the links in our bios and in our profiles and in the description. Schedule an appointment. Again, Karina specializes in tax resolution, so tax issues and past tax. If you're having past issues with the IRS or state entity, she can definitely assist you with that. Um, we are focusing on business advisory, so I'd love to assist you with that if you are a small business owner. And again, we are here every other Friday. And if you guys have any suggestions or if you have a horror story, if you're like, it was the accountant's fault, they did do that, you know what I mean? Go
Yeah.
ahead and leave that comment. Let me go ahead and vent it out. What they do to you? What they do to you, Jan? Listen. Um, but want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. For those of you who are looking for an accountant, since we're talking about that, I do have my 6 tips for choosing your tax professional in the link. You can just click that, download that. It's a helpful guide to help you give you some good questions to ask as you're choosing your tax professional. Okay. So thanks again, you guys. Anything you want to add, Karina? No.
No.
All
I
right.
was like, I was like, oh, well, you know what? Not every accountant is a tax professional. Not all tax professionals are accountants. Not all tax not all tax professionals are CPAs. And not all CPAs are tax professionals. So like understand, like I said, understand the role of whomever you're hiring, what they will do for you in your business, because although these names sound similar, they are not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and that's it. Bye.
Exactly. Bye. All right, you guys. See you guys in another 2 weeks. All right, bye.